Hello neighbors, Akibataku here. Now don't mind me, I recently got my new drawing tablet. You know what that means? It means I don't have to go on the internet to find my weird fetishes anymore. Now, I can actually create my own fetishes. Oh, can you imagine all the weird possibilities I can have now? All the thighs, the tits, oh, that would be so good. And to think that I once had to go to the internet to find all these things.
Okay, on a serious note, I love the Fate franchise. I have been following it since the beginning and I have seen how it has evolved in many ways. The characters are well written, the story, while complex, is still cultivating, and the action is come-worthy. Hell, even the beginnings of my YouTube channels have a connection with the Fate franchise. Hello neighbors, this is Akibataku 39 and welcome to the very first episode on this channel. Today, we'll be taking a look at Figma 257 Tosakarin 2.0 from the series Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
What the hell was that?
And while I have yet to catch up with all of the subverses, the main lineup will still forever hold a special place in my heart. So it excites me to see that a trilogy series of movies were coming to the big screen and I was all for it. All anime movies in Malaysia, however, were distributed by this company called Odex, which does not have the best track record. Even though they have been doing this thing for years now, they have yet to solve a lot of controversies that cause many to question their legitimacy. What went wrong? Well, let's take a look. In Malaysia, whenever there is an anime movie launching, there is always a special premiere day called fan screenings. The primary difference between a fan screening and a normal screening is that they will sell additional merchandise imported from Japan, which will be charged with an additional buck. This was more of a novelty thing for me, because instead of going after the normal screening, I will always go for the fan screening. Not because of the merchandise, because it was the time for me to actually go find my kind. I often find it hard to find someone who loves anime just as much as I am, because I am not your normal type of anime fan. I consider myself to be something more. It can often be sickening to be surrounded by normies who is always cancerous in their own ways, so I always go to fan screenings because it's one of those times where I can actually find my kind. People who can understand me and accept me for all of my weird ways. So there's a quick rundown of why fan screenings are important to me. So it's important that Odex distribute it right. So what went wrong? Answer: everything. Okay, so back in 2018, Odex was hyping up for the release of the new Fate trilogy, and I was excited as hell. I finally got to see the Fate franchise on the big screen. But by the time they announced that the tickets were available, they were sold out. Well, off to a great start. By the time I found out, it was already too late. I was busy in school and I had no way of finding it out. They did make a second session, but the problem was that this one have completely different merchandise from before. Fans were pissed, myself included. As for one, this is completely unfair to the ones who bought the first screening, since now they are getting completely new merchandise. But this is also unfair to the second screening runs because now it's somehow more expensive. Everybody was angry, and when Odex tried to calm people down, it only made things worse. And somehow it got even more worse. Not only did the tickets sold out by the time they actually announced its availability, but also the merchandise distribution has been completely fucked. People were getting the wrong merchandise they were promised, and they were launching the movie on the wrong date. People lost it, and I just gave up. I was eventually forced to watch the general screening of the movie, and even then it has its own problems. Not only did many locations throughout the country did not get the movie, but also there were several mistranslations.
And I think you know how I feel about it.
But even then, I actually really loved the movie. The action was great, the characters were good, and I look forward to the next two chapters. When I come back from school, the tickets were sold out. In just an hour or two, the tickets were sold out and everybody was not happy. And the worst part is that there will be no second screening. We were not at fault about missing out on the tickets. Odex actually announced that the tickets were available days after it was actually launched. And because of that, the majority of the people don't even know that the tickets were out. But hey, at least the cosplayer stars are there. That's a good sign, right? Right? While everyone was rampaging on Facebook, I was just sitting there filled with nothing but despair. I was filled with sadness that I missed out on both fan screenings in a row, and at that point I just gave up and accept the fact that we Malaysians cannot manage shit. So I just waited for the next general screenings, and the movie was awesome. I enjoyed every single moment of it, but even then I was cautiously excited for the third and final chapter. Jumping forward to the 8th of September, and everything went the way you expected it. In less than an hour, the tickets were sold out and I missed it. At that point, I was not even surprised. I missed out all 3 times in a row, so what's the point of despairing about it, you know? I left my remarks on Facebook and moved on. For the next day, I went to school with my laptop for my science project, so bringing it to school wasn't okay. When my round was over, I secretly logged into my Facebook account, but then someone replied to me, "You know you can buy it right now, fast?" At first I was like, what? It sold out the night before, how can this possibly be? But then when I checked the page, they announced that a second batch has been opened. What? At that moment, I knew what had to be done. I rose my hand and yelled, "Can I go to the bathroom?" I ran out of the class and quickly tried to contact my mom, but there was a problem. I did not bring my phone to school. I was panicking like hell. There is still 3 more hours of school till I can go home, and who knows when will I get the tickets when it's sold out. So I asked my classmates to borrow their phone and they said yes, so I quickly called my mother and told her the whole situation. When I look at the seat selections, 2 rows of seats had already been filled out, and I need to act fast. I asked her to select a seat for me and she did so. Everything was going well until we encountered a problem. The bank account got rejected. Well, now what? When I got back to the menu, this many seats got sold. We tried this for another 2 times before we realized something had to change. My mother soon decided to use a different credit card, but by then, the stage looked something like this. My mother quickly keyed in all the passwords and everything, and I wait in anticipation. And soon after that, the tickets were retrieved. I was beyond excited. When I heard that news, I was partying at school so hard, my classmates were concerned for my sanity. I head home with great anticipation for my ticket, thanked my mom, and eagerly waited for the premiere day. The day finally arrived. I was welcomed with a group of people in the Fate fandom. We had talks and laughs and finally watched the movie together. I'll keep my thoughts about the movie spoiler free of course, but all I will say is this. The movie has been an experience for me. The characters, the story arc, the action, God, the action! And this would have not been possible without what I have been going through. Overall, there is still a few parts of the world that has yet to gain access to watch this cinematic masterpiece. But I would just say, hang in there and it will all be worth it.
But you know what's not worth it? The fact that they took 3 movies to get this right. I mean, sure, the majority of the Fate fans in Malaysia did manage to see the 3rd movie, and the majority of them did get their merchandise and whatnot, but remember, this only happened because they actually gave us a second chance. For the first 2 movies, poor bastards didn't even get it. And what's even more worse is the fact that they used Facebook to actually notify us about any news regarding about anime movies in Malaysia. And need I remind you, Facebook does not actually notify us whether Odex has a new update or not. We need to check Facebook every day just so we make sure we didn't miss anything. And reminding you, that is something we stopped doing literally 30 years ago. Why can't they just use it on Twitter or something? I don't know, something new or update or something like that. And what's even more worse is that they often announce this new ticketing thing days after the tickets actually release. Meaning by the time we actually notify about this, the tickets are already sold out. And what's even more worse, this is not a new drawing tablet that I can draw all my disgusting fetishes. This is a tanga!